Welcome to sunny Ancient, where the air is humid, the bugs are buzzing, and Valve broke aliasing for consistent movement. So, we may see a little bit more randomness, give the players a little forgiveness. Certain things are going to be probably worse than they were last night.
Oh, boy. Well, we'll see.
Fully released game, by the way. Fully released game. They're still changing how movement is allowed to function. Cynic! Okay, that was a wallbang. I thought that was a player fully out. He just didn't realize. But he's a little confused as well. Goes 1 for 1 on the trade. Not all bad when all is said and done. George, hexed, overwhelmed, wiped out. Bomb's not down yet, fellas. This could be bad.
Whoa.
And Junior's leaving. Automatics gained the flank. They're not expecting that. And coming through smoke, one will be caught. So it is going to wind up being an 8 plant when all is said and done. Automatic changing up the angle of approach. And CJ reading what he might be trying to do. So this bomb plant may still yet be denied. And indeed, it will be so.
Yeah, I mean, curious decision by Automatic to tuck himself into that corner. Yes, it is possible to surprise one player, but 3, it seems unlikely. It felt like a one and done and pretty much what we got. And then, of course, afterwards, Junior couldn't really do much. So that's the round for Nouns taking that pistol. 1-0 in their favor. It's a good start for them. As I mentioned, they haven't won this map in the last 2 outings against the Evil Geniuses. So my feeling is if they can take this off of them, it'll be very tough for EG to come back into this series. Although, like I said, we still have Inferno's map number 3, but if they don't get Ancient, look, I'm getting ahead of myself. Let's jump into the second round of action because Evil Geniuses are charging right out through A main into A, and they already lost 1. Automatic had to slow down because the Molotov. Now the Evil Geniuses are redirecting themselves to mid, or trying to. Marky's there ready and waiting. His arms are open and his bullets are giving the frags to himself, and that'll be that. 3 for Marky.
Well, very nicely done. Nice start to this one. Would have loved to get some of those more kills with the SMGs if you could, if you were Nouns, but you know, they'll have to settle for 2 and not dropping a body. Now this round's going to be interesting because it is a bit of the bonus. You got the full util, but you also have 4 MP9s. Now we know Nouns like to get frisky with the aggression, and this is certainly going to be such a case.
Definitely. And sorry, go ahead, Mike.
Oh, those are nice. Spawn nades in for elbow.
Yes, I was going to say.
They double it. Ooh, I got to learn that lineup. Art, get me a video. Art, I demand it. Give me a video.
It's already out, I'm pretty sure.
Walco. Self the kill through. B-Will's going to be overwhelmed. This one's looking good for EG. Walco almost looks like he timed out there.
Yeah,
the bomb is down, and he's back in. So we're all good. I think he may have just been playing anti-flash. Yeah, okay, this is intentional. This is a really cheeky way to tuck in. A nice little corner. Haven't seen too many players exploit it, and Cynic is definitely not prepared. The double push back from the B ramp. Carson finds the first. Health is low on these remaining 2 players. The MP9 could make it work. Automatic hanging by a thread. Walco rocked up now. This should not be possible for CJ. There's that new 10-second timer. Ooh, I hate that sound a lot. But there's no way to win the round. It sounds like a... What does it sound like? It's like the worst squeaky toy ever.
It's just bad. I think that needs to be adjusted. That
is another new piece in here. That's the new 10-second timer, so you no longer need to have bomb music on. You just hear... It's like ooh, it's like an air pump. It's like an air pump for like a bike tire.
But why?
I don't know. You need some sort of audio indication. That one, not it.
I mean,
Valve.
Yes,
not it.
I always thought it was unnecessary to have an obvious cue. It gave that kind of excitement as to if you had enough time or not. Always dense, but anyway, whatever. CJ is going to get the opener here onto Walco. 5v4 in favor of Nouns, and the Evil Geniuses are immediately going to get the site and plant over here at A. So the casualty was worth it for them. They got the smokes up. No visibility for Nouns. Although they still have 5 players, they don't have a kit. So they have to go quickly here and get these frags, or else they're going to run out of time on the bomb.
I'm waiting to get a 10-second sound again. I'm not going to lie to you. Here's the spam coming through. B-Will, Carson. It's hacks, though. Locking down some kills, and now Junior has a chance.
They have to stick this, yeah.
it's on the 10th second. He needed to pull the player off, unable to do so. So plenty of time for the defuse. All right, I think I'm a little less hostile towards it than the first time I heard it. Still not a huge fan.
I'm not a fan of it even being introduced, right? I mean, yes, you already had the music kits that kind of gave you an idea of when 10 seconds was left, right, with the switch and in terms of the way the music sounds, but I never thought it was necessary to change the bomb. Anyway, look, it's happening. It's here. I'm sure they're going to tweak it a little bit in terms of the way it sounds. Just a little echoey right now. Maybe that's the point. I'm taken aback, Mike. Either way, another quick execute in towards mid from the Evil Geniuses. Walco down to 9 HP. They forced up into this round, trying to make it work for a second round victory. So far looking pretty strong for Nouns, though, at 3-1. Carson's getting aggressive, as he is prone to do. And he spams through the smoke, perhaps second guesses himself because they don't have much visibility towards Snake. Or I should say lane. Marky. Jaguar, and he's going to get one. Hex trades him out immediately. And we still have even numbers, but again, Nouns gain the edge.
Carson gonna get aggressive here as well on the flank. Now they've got to be worried. The fly in. Hex knows he's dead. Cynic's got a negative.
No,
why not? He's
why?
breaking that back out. He gets 2 kills with it. This might just be the meta. Cynic's at the bleeding edge now.
Not.
The B-ramp hold with the negative.
It's not the meta, but
He's gonna make it the meta.
I don't think so.
It's cheap. It's still cheap.
It is still cheap, and perhaps as a suppressing weapon, it's still effective. I find it's a niche weapon still. I don't think that it's ever going to break into the meta, at least in its current form. But hey, look, if Cynic can make it work and actually get some frags,
Cynic's trying to make it
I'm
happen.
fine
We
with it.
thought when he bought it back against Bad News Bears, he was just trolling. Still
He's
not
not.
convinced he's not. But the fact that he's buying it in this EG matchup is, you know, I'm going to go ahead and say that this time he's not trolling. He genuinely thinks this is a good decision because this is an important game, and they've obviously had close games against EG before.
Look, I mean, we've seen the shotguns really come back into the meta in a significant way. We even had a Liege saying that he feels he's going to buy up the XM and the Nova in some competitive matches. So for me, it makes sense because the shotguns are very powerful right now. I don't know if the Negev is going to make it happen, but, you know, maybe the Negev is more powerful than we realize, and Cynic's onto something. Certainly it's like a 10% chance, maybe less than that, 5% chance in my mind that that's true, but, you know, we'll see.
I think the big problem with the Negev is right now the strongest thing feels like swinging, right?
Yeah.
And obviously you just can't swing with a Negev. You are too slow to swing with a Negev, and it takes way too long for the fire rate to rev up. So hopefully whatever's going on with the server is going to give you a resolve quickly. Let me see if I can dive on in and see what it is. In the meantime, we could talk about the continued changes for just a moment here, John, because a lot just hit tonight, right now.
I didn't even realize.
If you're not familiar with what we're talking about in terms of aliasing, let me try and explain it. We'll see how well I understand it. Basically, Valve has introduced this thing with CS2 called subtick, which is the idea that, so the tick rate. All right, God, we're going to see how dumb I actually am. Tick rate is basically how many times a second the server and your computer communicate. That is fundamentally what tick rate is. So traditionally in Go, Valve servers were 64 tick. That means they communicated 64 times a second. And competitive servers, face it, ESEA, back when we had ESEA specific servers, 128 tick, which meant that they updated more rapidly. You had a more consistent experience in terms of what you saw versus your opponent saw. So Valve has tried to create this thing they call subtick, which is still updating at 64 tick, but basically predicting what's happening in the interims between those ticks, and that is subtick, as I understand it. John, is that about correct to your understanding?
It sounds about right. Yeah, that sounds about right.
Movement has felt really spongy in Counter-Strike 2 because you're running on subtick. So your computer and the server are basically trying to do a little bit of guesstimation as to where you actually are versus when you press buttons. Whereas before it would just actually update to where you are on each tick. So it's a little bit of a dance here, and you're getting inconsistencies in things like jumping, things like movement, things like momentum that you didn't have before. Shooting. Bullet registration, hitboxes. Now, what people did, because we have a very creative community that likes to fool around and mess and figure out how to improve things, is they wrote in a series of aliases that basically created new versions of your movement key inputs that gave more precise movement key inputs so that it would actually move on the tick as opposed to attempt to move in the subticks. And Valve don't like that because they're trying to make subtick the thing. So they wrote those out. But I will say on Launders' Twitter, he appears to have found a workaround for the jump bind still working alias. You have to like, I just glanced at it because we're live, obviously doing things. But basically, you have your normal alias that you had before, and then you write another alias on top of that alias to run it. I don't know exactly. I'm stupid. I don't know any of these things. I just do what other people tell me feels good, and then I know if it does feel good. But yeah, that's basically my understanding of what the kerfuffle is tonight, because the community figured out a way to fix the garbage movement right now, and Valve said no.
There's so many problems right now with subtick that yeah, it's frustrating to play on. It's frustrating for, I mean, a lot of the competitive players to utilize. I don't know why we're reinventing the wheel, but Valve felt confident. Look, in theory, it sounds amazing, right? The way they describe it, that video was so promising. We're like, wow, subtick sounds cool. But right now in practice, it's not a finished product in my opinion. Like,
which is unfortunate because they've fully released it and gotten rid of the old game, and everyone has to compete on the new game.
Yes, that is unfortunate.
That's where a lot of the controversy is coming from. But it seems like we are going to be hopping back into this fun and back into the action here. So away we go, subtick and all. Now, this wouldn't be an issue if they would allow 128 tick servers running subtick. I'm sure that would be better. But Valve have also forced 64 with subtick and have removed the ability to change the tick rate of Counter-Strike servers.
I think inherently it will still be like the same kind of flaws, just less noticeable. Anyway.
Ooh, that's a nice trade on. Marky sticking around, overstaying his welcome. Flashbang is lethal. B-Wills is down, and this round is getting up to the frisk. And now we get the Negev, which does take two. To be fair, CJ able to trade it. So again, Negev delivering, certainly against pistols. And it falls to Hex to try and win this round without control of the bomb.
All right. Well, I mean, okay, Cynic. If you keep getting 2 frags every round with the Negev, I don't think anyone's going to complain. 1 minute left on the clock. Hex, the last one standing, doesn't have the bomb on his back, and Nouns know it. They are sentries hanging around, waiting for Hex to walk into their crosshair so they can delete him out of this round. And Hex has other plans. He's just going to hang around here and wait out the clock potentially, hope that he can get a frag and maybe upgrade a pistol to an AK. But as it stands, it's going to be very difficult for him to win this one. Here he comes around the corner. Negev picked up. Okay, he's got that.
He's like, all right.
Use it the same way Cynic did.
How do I do this? How do I do this? He's trying to burst with the Negev. That's obviously not going to work. I will say, all right, here's the Gigabrain approach from Cynic's perspective. I watched this happen once way back in the day. Back in God, how long is this? This is before the Krieg meta. There was a period of time, I want to say it was like 2018, before the Krieg got popular, where NBK was trying out the Krieg and the AUG. And he was like the only player who would actually use the Krieg.
Yes.
And he was playing with it up against, I want to say it was Mouseport at the time. It was whatever team Stiko was on. And he got killed. The player on the other side, who was Stiko, picked up his gun, thinking it was an AK, promptly realized it was a Krieg at the beginning of the next round, and threw it away to rebuy. So using guns that your opponents don't know the spray pattern for, competitive advantage.
Potentially. We'll see. He hasn't used it this round. He's gone back to the M4. Carson's going to get the opener onto Hex. Marky goes down as well. B-Wills waiting around in Jaguar. A1S in hand. Walco waiting for the bullets to stop firing away so he can go for a peek here, and he does, and he gets a shot onto one, but traded out by B-Wills. So we're still even. Yeah, Nouns are going to A though, Mike.
It's crazy. Yeah, they devoted all 4 players from the Nouns side just to that B-main fight. So now A site open for business, and EG have realized it, taken advantage, should be able to get the bomb planted. I would love for them to burn that last smoke. They do indeed. Because now Nouns are trying to force the issue as they are wont to do. Carson comes flying through, 1 for 1 on the off. They know where both players are now, but George will not be missing against his former comrades. and we will see the Evil Geniuses get their second round on the board.
Yeah, that was a really nice hold post plant by Evil Geniuses. I love the idea from Nouns. Just full send it. Carson goes out, gets the opening frag. He almost gets a second, almost lines it up. But luckily for Evil Geniuses, Junior's up to the task with the AWP, and he helps his team secure a second. Speaking of Junior and the AWP, throughout Yangtze, he was still incredibly good, which is surprising because a lot of players fell off with the op and weren't able to put up the same numbers, but he did 0.51 op frags per round. And he also had 69.5% of his frags with the AWP, which to me is nuts because of the fact that it really has become more difficult to use in Counter-Strike 2. So good to see Junior putting in the reps and performing as we expect him to.
This is an interesting spot. I don't know if CJ's here. I don't think they know CJ's here. Do they clear this?
I think
No, they know he's here?
Yeah.
All right. Don't know how that one wound up working out. But it did. CJ's down. Dusted. Question of what can Carson do? A lot more if you whiff your smokes and block yourself off.
It's a stacked site for Nouns here, though, and they've got the M4. It's not another own possibility.
Kill with the USP. Marquis peeks back in. Picks up 2. Oh my goodness, that's a big shot from Junior to finish things off, right? You had gotten into a situation for EG where you didn't actually have the remaining utility. You were low on numbers, and ooh, that was way too close for comfort.
Yeah, definitely. But another good shot from Junior to end it. Obviously only against USP, but hey, look, it was an important moment, and he shone once more. Third round picked up for EG. Marquis, as mentioned, the only player who had the M4 in the round, gets a couple and makes it winnable. So that at least keeps the economy honest on the EG side. You see only George and Junior above 2K. Everyone else below 1K. And automatic and Walco only 300 combined. So let's see what Carson decides to do in this round. He is going to push up towards mid, and I think he spotted ahead, definitely did. And now he's going to get flashed out. Very tough spot from Debian, and there he goes, down to dirt. Automatic gets the opener. Half health lost, and Hext will also be dropped in turn. So the numbers are even, and now with that space gained towards the B site, lots of information for Nouns, Mike.
He's just gotten a kill elsewhere. Where'd that come through? Is that towards A main?
Oh no, right? Look at this, look at this. Evil Geniuses could slip right behind Marquis. They won't even know they're on B.
This is wild how much Nouns are rotating. Well, they're making noise about it, so Marquis doesn't know now. But how does he approach it? How does he respond? Well, he doesn't know how far they've gotten, and that's going to cost him. That's going to pull everybody from Nouns over into the D defense.
Very heavy rotations in the early goings from Nouns. They continue to just go back and forth between sites instead of leaving one player there.
How do you think Automatic's reading this right now? It's like, I'm on A all the way through. I don't know where they went, guys. I'll be honest with you.
I think they go back to A at this point, but they have to make a decision soon.
If they smoke red, they're fine.
28 seconds.
Ooh, leaving it unsmoked is so bold. They're trying to preserve the element of surprise here as far as how far up Automatic is.
Goodness.
Bomb's getting planted. CJ. Ooh, this first contact is going to be huge. Automatic, not able to hold. Angles, tough to hold in this game. But it's up to the AWP. It's up to the AWP to defend. They've got to swing him. They've got to try and pull him off the angle. He's got the first. Molotov might finish it, and he knows it. He's waiting for Cynic to tap, confirming he's not on the bomb. Whoop, just baiting, buying time. Knows he's off. Good bit of patience here. Reposition. Continue to pull him off the bomb. Oop, oop, oop. Movement. 10-second timer coming in. No world Cynic. Toying with him as Junior like a cat with a mouse.
Absolutely beautiful stuff from Junior there. Like you said, toying with Cynic, going back and forth, jiggle peeking for information, not overcommitting, and that is how you play a post-plant 1v1 if you're on the T side. You just don't give the CT anything to look at, and then of course that Molotov would have sealed the deal anyway. You didn't even have to use it. Just perfect movement. Well done. Fourth round picked up for EG.
If you're wondering why he didn't just dump the Molotov, he was very scared of, taking the extra second to line it up and getting headshot. So once he knows the player's shooting at him, it's fine. You don't need it. Junior hit shots of his own, taking Marky out of this round. That nade gonna hurt. And the next one is just gonna hurt as well. Cynic is already almost gone.
That could be a turning point in this map here for Evil Geniuses. Nice round picked up, and now there's only 3 players left on the Nouns side. Their economy's not doing too great, as they got the pistols only. Cynic stacked up with B-Wills on that B site. CJ's probably going to join them soon. He wants to have a peek towards mid, and with that deagle, why not? You can knock some heads off. But as it stands, Evil Geniuses are all stacked up together. There's that deagle. There we go. CJ connects onto automatic. We'll get an upgrade, but that'll trigger Evil Geniuses to go right on into the B site. No one home, or at least not visibly.
Did they read that it's double cave?
I don't know.
I planting that open towards pillar tells me they don't know it's double cave. Now, it's still going to be hard to do anything with this element of surprise. Beebles and Cynic have not moved off this since the beginning of the round, I don't believe. Mind you, this is where Cynic got naded. But now CJ starts to get activated with that rifle. That can creep the other players out. Cynic. Uh-oh, double dink. What's happening? What is... Walco was tucked. Nearly gave that up. 5 HP. And CJ's just going to try and save the gun, but Walco's a dead man, so this is at the very least an incredibly expensive round.
Yeah, I think Walco can get away, actually. I think he has enough time.
He lives with 5 HP? You think so? Did he
This
get far enough away?
Yeah, he's good. He's good.
Oh, yep, he got far enough. I didn't think he could get all the way other side of A site.
I think if CJ keeps fighting, maybe not, but CJ obviously wanting to save the AK in a round where they invested very little to nothing, it makes sense. Yeah, just go fall back and save that gun. The odds of him winning the round were very slim without the kit in his hands. So yeah, I mean, still great damage from Nouns again on their eco round, which they've done consistently against EG. But we are tied up at 5 after it was a pretty nice lead for Nouns they built up 3-1, and we've been back and forth since then. All right, let's see what they set up now. They're going to send 3 players to the B site, 2 going aggressive mid, A completely open. And the Evil Geniuses, well, it's a good read, right? Because Nouns realize they're going to B. Marky's already got the spot. Junior's lined up close and personal. It's going to be a tough one to hit. Oh my goodness. Risky position from Junior.
Wild peek, though, from Marky without a flashbang.
Yes.
Ambitious. I know Pika's advantage is strong right now, but it's not that strong.
What?
Actually, yeah, it might be. The more I think about it, the more it might be. They're stalling out our EG. Minute 15, a lot of utility burn from both sides. And EG are backing off of this. They're a little nervous about how much presence there is in the B site, and that's understandable.
It's so strange. If you go back and watch the minimap in Global Offensive and then watch it here in CS2, if you had the opportunity anyway, maybe go back and watch some old matches, you'll see the CTs often just standing still in Global Offensive on the minimap. Here, you never stand still. You can't hold angles, so they're always jiggling, always moving. It's such a difference. Yeah,
still is dead. I mean, you saw in that round, was it 2 ago, where, you know, Automatic has such a powerful angle on the A site, but he's frozen in the corner trying to avoid getting spotted early, and so he just gets peeked and killed.
Exactly.
It's just brutally difficult. It really does have to reshape the way our brains think about how to fight sites. CJ pushed off by the Molotov, will concede A, so this means bomb planted. And a very powerful post plant because they've got full donut mid control, but oh, CJ knows his lineups. I don't know if there was a nade to pop the smoke or what, but either way, now the bodies are hitting the floor. Gonna plant that a little safer this time, and CJ's effort to deny again will be punished. Time extinguished, though, and Nouns take it. They did enough to keep those numbers from being punched in, and so Nouns will secure at least 6 in this half.
Absolute chaos on that bomb site. Goodness me. Thought EG had the edge, but the time was up. No more left to get that bomb planted, despite the fact that they were ever so close. 12th and final round of the half. About to get underway here. Evil Geniuses hoping to head into that second half with a tied scoreline, and Nouns want that 2-round edge. Again, Carson charging up aggressively towards mid, as he has time and time again, and I think they're going to pass each other in the smoke. They do for now.
Oh, this is going to get weird. Automatic on the other side of it. No idea that Carson's here. Does automatic reveal his presence at all? Carson look for it. Oh, they don't even need to. Marky gets the kill. Now the fast flank's going to be on. They've got the tip off. They've got all of this control. It might be a retake setup nonetheless. But a lot of utility being doled out. Big no-scope hit. Junior needed that one to try and secure this last round. He drops there. Could be all over, and he's going to do more. Junior and George now locking this down, but B-Wills can do no more. It's all on Marky. It's all on Marky. Utility trying to come off, section off his view. He knows he has to go ahead of it. Walco spamming it. Marky's locked out right now. He'll try a reroute, but there's precious little time to make this work. They even popped the smoke, so they should know he's not there anymore. They got the read. Junior absolutely does. All tied up as we head to the half.
You love it, you wear it. What's your style? Get your merch at shop.eslgaming.com.
And we are back in here. Nouns evil geniuses squaring up. Action happening in towards the donut. CJ's got 2 kills. Oh my goodness, he's got a 3rd as well. CJ just doing all the work. He had a strong first half. He's been having an incredible go of CS2. I think he's the player I've seen have the most positive trend in the new game. And it shows in this round here, John.
Siege is ridiculous. Like 17 and 6. He is the best player on Nouns since Counter-Strike 2 started, and we kind of talked about it in the last match that we casted of Nouns, but the fact that he's the entry, the fact that he's going in for those frags at the beginning, as he did there, and he's finding so much more success with that Peeker's advantage, 62.8% success rate on opening frags in the Yanshiping close qualifier, which was already incredible. I think he's doing just as well in Challenger League so far. He had 27 opening frags throughout that. He just had one right there, and well, I mean 3 overall. Well done from CJ, and he is just the star for Nouns, which is not what I expected at any point, but here we are.
Power of the entry, man. Power of the entry. Bomb gonna be down. It was a 5-man Uspis gamble, and they gambled wrong. So let's see what they can get on the hunt. They can get some CJ stat pads. That's what they can get.
Jeez.
Get Cynic in position to pick up that AK. Actually, Carson's got it. So it's no harm, no foul. You really only lost 1 SMG. And CJ, 14 rounds into the game, has 20 on the board.
Yeah, the only player in the survey that's close in terms of those ends is Junior. Right? He got a 70% success rate.
Oh, we've lost John just a little bit, so hopefully he'll be back here in a flash, folks. But we do have a reinvestment into a MAC-10, which is interesting from now on, so they do want to play with the pace right now. We saw it before against the Bad News Bears. It seems like that's the pace they want to set again. George going to catch the first. Damage onto the second as well. Sets up automatic to come out and claim it. And right now, the gates of A are being closed. It's automatic who tends them, but he runs out of ammo. He'll require his teammates to come in and finish this one off, which they will do very ably. The gap closes to just 1 round. Do we have a John back? Unfortunately, we do not have a John back, folks. So we'll try and get him loaded on in. In the meantime, big util exchange mid, somehow finding no damage. How is CJ wound up with a P250 in this round? That's a question I'll have to answer another time. Maybe just trying to go with the approach of picking up his teammate's gun, but right now he's trying to entry in towards cave, so that's intriguing. Automatic with a cheeky position here on the elbow. Swing back in from Walco is deadly. And they're able to get away with this. So, advantage, Evil Geniuses. They're backing it back out towards A. And now we seem to be good. John's back.
I think I am. Good, cool. All right.
All good. All kosher, I assume.
Yeah.
Until the magic voice in our heads tells us no.
Yes.
George is in trouble here, John.
He is,
but
he's going to get
good.
the frag. Yeah, nicely done. Junior gets one as well. B-Wills trades it back. So now it's not out of this, not by a long shot. George, oh my goodness, dodges the nade just in time. He would have been dead to rights had he taken a step to his right, in fact. Only 39 HP combined for George and Walco. Molotov lands right next to George, so he has to retreat into Catacombs. 2 players there. Is the nade? There isn't, but there's a Molotov. If Hex throws it in there, they're in so much trouble. Or not, yeah, excuse me, not Hex. He's on the other side. B-Wills is the one who has to do the damage. B-Wills.
Somebody will be doing some damage.
Yeah.
Eventually. Oh, double take. Only 1 kill found. So it is going to be Evil Geniuses nodding this up, John.
Yeah, even though they had that low HP. Yeah, so as I was saying before I was cut off, as we're tied up 8-8. Junior on the other side, I hope you guys heard the stats from CJ, of course, but Junior on the other side is the one competing with him in terms of those opening frag stats. He's got 30, or had 30 in the Yanshiping close qualifiers. He had a 78.9% success rate, and his team won 86.7% of the rounds that he had an opening frag in. So he continues to be very important, as CJ is for Nouns. We're going to be talking a lot more about entry fraggers, I think, throughout CS2's at least early days.
Yes, it is the time of the entries. If when in doubt, W key it out is the answer to every engagement.
It's a
Not
shot.
much doing in this round, is there, John, with just the
No.
Glocks and a P2 50 out. Single Deeg for Cynic, who actually buys up a little heavier than one would expect.
Yeah. But Cynic likes to play it risky, as we've seen quite a
He
few
does
times before.
like to get frisky. We haven't seen an attacking Negev yet. Do you think we're going to get a T-side Negev, John?
I would be shocked, like beyond shocked, if we got a T-side Negev, because we talked about it already. You can't really peek with it, and that's the advantage on T-side. Oh, speaking of peeking, what a shot from Cynic, but Hexton automatic come back for 4 frags combined, and this round is probably over. Carson charging up. Wait a second.
Unless
He's got the frag, and he picks up the M4.
anyone asked, not the ideal gun for this situation, but it could be enough. He's got an isolated 1v1 on site right now. A bomb plant would be a huge coup, and he's got the kill. Now it's about the round. Round very much in doubt. Georgia is not close at hand. It's come down to the 1v1, and this, if they drop it, Evil Geniuses, their whole map is in doubt. This would crush their eco.
Yeah.
George has a kit at least, but there's no smoke to cover this off. And he has no idea. He's so late into this. Carson could be anywhere. And he's all the way back around the door because Carson knows his biggest asset here is time. Specifically time that has started to get very low. Carson creeping up further. That's the 10-second on the bomb. Carson trying to buy it. George, does he have enough? No. The round is lost. George just has to try and get away from that detonation radius. What a catastrophe here. 9 on the board for Nouns. They hold on the lead, and they send the money of EG skittering down the drain.
Yeah, they're just... I can't believe that round slips away from the Evil Geniuses, and now Nouns are able to buy up into this one. The AKs across the board. What a coup. Like you said, it's going to be tough for the Evil Geniuses to buy up into this round, but they feel like they have no choice but to try to go for a bit of a force buy. I say a bit, a lot of a force buy. Hext has gone down to 0. Junior's going to do the same, Walco as well. So it will yield a decent buy up. I mean, the FAMAS is okay, 2 of those, an AK and an A1S. Is Walco going to have anything dropped for him, or is he going to buy anything? We'll have to wait and see. There's a timeout being called right now by the Evil Genius to talk over exactly that. And Walco's deciding, does he just invest into util and buy a pistol? Maybe get a shotgun here? We'll see what his decision ends up being. Looks like a CZ and util. I think that makes sense. Get another smoke and obviously 2 flashes in the nade. So he's got the full util set and can support his team. But this has now become an even more critical round for EG because you look at their loss bonus, 1,900.
Yeah.
And I mean, this is MR12. This could be over before they have a chance to recover economically.
Really could. We're seeing a bit of aggression here. Automatic taking the space in towards A main. There's no presence mid, though. That's the problem. If their bluff gets called and CJ's thinking about it, I think it peeked in towards mid. That is a ton of the map given up. Nothing seen here just yet. The smoke's faded in the red room. And Automatic's going looking. Marky just spotted him. I think he just saw him jiggling, and I don't believe Automatic had the same luck. Oh, that's going to sting. Automatic trying to make the hero play. Look, speaking of hero plays, look at Carson. Carson's all the way through mid. They've now cleared out cave. This is a catastrophe. There's just nothing going the way of Evil Geniuses. And if Carson even just comes in towards B, this one's over and done with. He's trying to catch the A rotator instead, and well, his teammates will certainly do enough work here on this site.
Jeez.
So it's Carson activated on the hunt, not just trying to prevent the retake. It's about finding where George is hiding.
This is just so very bad for the Evil Geniuses. George, I mean, he's going to be overloaded more than likely. He is. CJ again. He had those 2 at the beginning, a 3rd at the end here. He's up to 24 frags in 18
24
rounds. Absolutely unreal. And
at this rate, my guy could 30 bomb.
He could. I mean, we had one the other day, so it wouldn't surprise me to see him pull it off here. But we talked about it before that round started. If Evil Geniuses force up in it and they lose, this is the result. $1,900 loss bonus, and you can see that's pretty much all the money that these players have available to them. Walco's bought up a flashbang. That's it. They're going to stack up towards A and mid. Maybe it'll work out for them. Unlikely, though, as Carson gets the opener onto George. And now Marquis pushing up into Red Room. So 3 players stacked up in Donut might do something, but if Nouns go to B, which they're poking and prodding around right now, it won't matter.
Yeah, now they're detecting more Donut presence after the 2 players saw mid, they know, right?
Yeah,
I mean, best case scenario is you kill Marky and you get his gun, specifically. But you do need to have some bodies alive in order to do that. Marky's just spotted the loss. They know exactly where Junior is. And Junior is not long for this world. So a flawless round means that at this point, Nouns have all the money they could possibly need in the world. And they just need 2 more rounds, John.
Yeah, regulation's pretty comfortable for them, even if they lose a couple of rounds here. But it's the opposite for the Evil Geniuses. They need this. Absolutely. Buying down to 0 once more. Yes, you have a little more loss bonus coming in, so you can probably salvage a decent buy after this round, but it's still going to be very, very tough. We'll see if they can pull off a little magic here. Junior doesn't have the op. He's been so very effective with it. I talked about it. It represents 65% plus of his frags so far in Counter-Strike 2. Carson going to get the opener onto automatic. That's a great start for Nouns. CJ finds Walco, just clotheslines him with the AK into Jaguar, and that B site's looking pretty soft. The thing is, Nouns don't have to commit, and the plan is, honestly, not to do so. The bomb is dropped behind them. They're still playing defaults, waiting for EG to push into them, and you see the player lurking around mid. X been spotted up by CJ over in Cave. This is so problematic for EG. They've lost a ton of map control. Now they're guessing, right? Where is Nouns going to go?
I mean, they have to. They have to gamble, because even if you're not going to win this round, you got to be able to save these rifles. And I'm surprised they're not stacking heavier, to be honest. It's mostly because George doesn't know if he's comfortable to move or to shift. They're going to get aggressive down B main. Oh, that's very fortunate. A rare flub from CJ. But their fortune does not last long as Cynic's right back into the fight. And meanwhile, A's been lost. This bomb is going down. No, they've got max 1 towards this side of the map, even.
I mean, I think you already called for the save.
It has to be. It has to be. There's no other option. They're in such a tough spot. Even staying too close to the bomb with the health they have is dangerous.
Cynic is dangerous, speaking of. Oh, he'll get spotted. That is lucky for George. He comes up right at that moment as Cynic looks away. So he will get that frag and likely secure these guns into the next round, even though Nouns could honestly chase. They have tons of money. They could go for this one, but they won't. They're going to play it conservatively. That'll still be a 12th, so 4 opportunities for Nouns to close out Ancient, a map that the Evil Geniuses have taken off them 2 rounds in a row prior to this one.
And reminder in both those matchups for why this is particularly dire for EG. Both those matchups were still Nouns wins across 3. Right? That's the problem. This is the map that EG has held as their strength. But what that means is after every match, Nouns has been cooking in the lab. They've been wondering, what more can we change? Well, how can we get them this time? How can we get them this time? It turns out the answer, the antidote, the secret ingredient was CJ killing 27 people.
Yeah, that helps.
Hear me out, IGLs. Hear me out, IGLs. I've got the coaches, analysts, staff everywhere, strategic coaches. Simply have one of your player outfrag everyone else on the server, and that's the edge you need.
Yeah, no, it helps a lot when CJ's dropping almost 30. Ay, what a monster he has been. In the last series they played against the Bad News Bears, he went to 21 frags on Mirage, a little slower on Ancient, but it actually was Carson who dropped 30 on Ancient, but that was because it went to overtime. It was not in regulation, so more expected. Well, not more expected, still really impressive. Either way, we're here now on Ancient, and as Mike mentioned, the Evil Geniuses go down here. It'll be a huge problem going up to this next map, and it doesn't look good already. CJ, who else, with the entry once more, his 28th, 29th frag, looking for the 30 bomb. Let's see if he finds it, or even the round. Carson gets Junior's head. And now it's up to Walco and Hex with the MP. Nice! Walco get the 2K spray down, so it's a possibility, but he goes down before getting that third, meaning Hex has to clutch a 1v2.
It does indeed. At least the 30 bombs denied, but let's see. Hex, this is possible. Carson's low. You find Cynic at the right time. This becomes a lot more viable. Doesn't have a kit, though. That's a huge pressure on. Full 10-second defuse going to be required. Hopefully there's a kit somewhere down. I was not keeping tabs, and well, he's running out of clock here. Gotta pick your poison. And how are you gonna do this? And Cynic will take that option away from him. 13-8 the scoreline. That was a very strong map. But I think the big concerning thing is not just that Nouns won that map, John. It's that second half onwards, they looked far and away the better team.
Yeah, no question. I mean, I think Nouns were very solid.